So today I've got the opportunity to ask Parvati a lot of questions because she's unavailable most of the time, and I'm proud of the fact that she's working these days, and she has become really a hardworking lady. All right, and I always promote women empowerment, and work is the only thing which actually makes a girl really empowered. So, Parvati, how do you feel sitting here on Ujjwal discussion?
First of all, terrific, because the moment I entered this class, I met lots of people here. You cannot see them, but they're very jolly. They're charming. They've just created a good ambience, and I'm so good sitting here and feel so terrific. Like I can't even express after a long time. Absolutely nervous because after a long time facing the camera, and I know how it feels in front of it. So yes, it's a sweet and sour experience.
Mixed feeling. All right, so Parvati, things have taken place in your life
Yeah.
recently. You've got busy and you are not able to do certain things that you were able to do a couple of months ago, I guess, 1 year ago. Now, the people, those who are watching this video, a little bit curious to know about your current style of practicing English because no matter who you are, you, as you always mention, like don't forget your root. So our root is there, rooted in the Bengali background. So no matter how much we speak, like it's never sufficient, right? So when it comes to practicing Parvati, I always feel like, yeah, you should be practicing every time, right? So considering the fact that you are busy most of the time, and but you still make some time for your personal practice, which is important for the English growth, so to speak. So I just want to know, and everybody wants to know out there, like if one gets busy, an English learner gets busy in his or her personal life, then how English can be taken care of?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for this question. And, yeah, I know that I'm doing busy, but it would be a silly excuse if I say I don't have any time for all of those things. Otherwise, it means I'm being very ungrateful that a thing which has taught me to be here where I am, I'm completely refusing it to be a part of my life, then it's not fair with it. Though English doesn't care whether I'm treating it well or not, but still I do need it. Hence, I thought that okay, I started taking this sort of things very, I started taking them very not seriously, but yeah, casually. At the same time, I've started taking for granted. I thought that okay, I'm done with them, and I'm these days I'm talking to foreign people, hence I'm able to speak good English. But at the end of the day, recently I found myself feeling very regret. Like I started regretting. I thought that no, it shouldn't go in such a way. I'm forgetting all of those things. I should start again. So these days I practice the way I would always practice, the way I initially practiced, like as a beginner. I practice the tenses yesterday, daily routine, tomorrow to recognize all of those rules. And most importantly, to not to pull, pull myself into that excuse, I practice with my colleagues. There are a couple of colleagues who throw some questions at me, those who make me speak, and I really appreciate, I'm grateful to them that knowing when I share these sort of things, Dada, I do think that I'm forgetting English, then they say okay, let me ask you a couple of questions. So I'm very supportive there, like I'm being supported there a lot. So in such a way I practice, and most importantly, these people have created lots of groups, and I'm happy to be a part of it, and I try to put my voice over there, and I love to speak about my daily life. Let's say I'm cooking and I instruct myself. I try to feel as if I'm hosting a cooking show, as if I'm hosting a kind of a podcast. And there is a channel, that channel is full of life. There, like, we know philosophers a lot. Like, there are lots of books about people who have done lots of things, but this particular channel, which is called Reflection of Life, they find out people those who are actually real life philosophers. They didn't write book, they are not like great thinkers, or I can consider them as like normal people, but the way they talk, the way they share their life, the way they celebrate each and every moment in their life, I try to practice like this way. I say, okay, let's talk about my life, like what's going on, how I felt. And getting back home, I share every single thing, whatever I felt, however the work was. And sometimes I made very charming clients and I share their thoughts. So in such a way I practice. And most importantly, which is a major part of a English learner's life, that is reading, because it helps to acquire lots of vocabs, different types of vocabularies. Simultaneously, you get to know where to use those sentences, and some grammatical structures you come in contact. And most important, listening, because while reading a book you come to know a word, but when you're listening to it you come to know the intonation of it, how the modulation is going on, and the way of pronouncing it. And different people you listen to, some of us we are fond of British English, some of us we are fond of American English. So what's the difference between the pronunciation of the same word? So in such a way I do it, and I try to follow the people I love to talk to, like. So in such a way, and if I talk about utilizing the words, absolutely speaking is one of them. And I do journaling, like whatever I come in contact, I feel like, okay, there is an idea, let's just jot it down in a piece of paper. So I just jot it down. Even today while coming, all of a sudden I came in contact, like there was a person I saw selling some dupattas, and the person was not normal person, like differently abled. We call them differently abled. So I thought that there are some people like us who still have hands, both hands and legs, but they feel like not doing anything. They beg for some pennies. So like it feels so bad. And all of a sudden I came in contact that disability is all about our mind. The moment you want to be disabled, no matter what facilities you've been blessed with, it doesn't matter, you will be begging at that point of time. You'll make yourself disabled. Like it's absolutely in our mind, not in our heart. So in such a way, whenever I come in contact with different ideas, with different thoughts, I either jot them down, I read from them, I speak, I try to speak a lot. So whenever I get the opportunity, yes, absolutely, I'm making excuse these days a lot. But yes, I've started living my life the way I would always live when I'm still a learner. Like I've started making myself feel like, yes, I'm still a learner, because a learner's life is more curious than a worker's life, because there you are very curious, you're going through different types of ways. There, when you are reading a book, you want to know that, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, why it has happened, why it hasn't happened. So you become very curious. Hence I've decided to become a learner. And yeah, reading, listening and writing, these are the ways of my practicing these days.